So I'm in the middle of Kansas right now, Lathe, Kansas, about to run my 16th marathon for the year tomorrow morning. And then I'll fly out to Delaware to run my 17th marathon. So I've got a double marathon weekend this weekend. I'm a little bit, not scared, but there's this feeling within me, this gut feeling of, am I falling short? And as well, like, why am I doing this alone? I know that right now it's not feasible monetarily for me to do this with any of my friends, but that doesn't mean I can't meet new people that are already doing crazy things like this and then start doing trips with them. I think the goal for the rest of this challenge is, how can I start meeting people who are doing crazy things? And then on top of that, how can I make this dream a reality? All the areas that I'm falling short, I need to start being better in those areas. I need to start understanding where I'm weak so that I can strengthen those areas. One of them is continually reminding myself to film this footage. It's terrible that I have to go through it later, but it's better that I have too much footage than if I didn't film it enough and it wasn't an entertaining story. So I'm learning a lot with this series. I also had this feeling when I was pulling into this Walmart parking lot to pick up this rotisserie chicken that I'm going to devour in all of 0.3 seconds after I get off this video. I had this thought in my mind of like, wow, I'm alone. And it was a weird feeling, like this, my heart, that heart feeling where it kind of like clenches up. And I had to remind myself, like, no, this is just a thought. This is going through my head, and like, I'm doing something great. I'm doing something crazy. So even though I'm not with anyone, not with any friends or anything like that, even though I don't have a plan monetarily, I don't have people to do it with, I just know that this is the sacrifice I have to make if I ever want to achieve the dream. It's like I have to go through this phase of there's no one else, it's just me. And on top of that, I have to learn this lesson that I can feel alone, but at the same time, like, all my friends back home, all the people that I'll meet in the future, my wife, God, like everyone at the end of time, when everything is all said and done, we'll be looking down on this moment, amongst every other moment. So technically I'm not alone. That's a weird perspective to take. Maybe some people don't believe that, but I do. So then I'm not alone. I got to remember that. And then on top of that, I got to remember that I'm doing something incredible, that this is the barrier to entry. Most people hate being alone. And so then this would turn them away. Most people hate doing physical exercise. That's another thing that would turn them away. So I have two barriers that I have to cross over. Well, every single week I have to get out there and run a marathon. And then on top of that, I have to do this entire thing by myself. But I don't have to do this entire thing by myself. I just have to start meeting people that are doing these types of things. So maybe the lesson to be learned here is that I should get out of my shell. I should start reaching out to people on social media, on Instagram or TikTok and YouTube. And when I get to their state, if they're running that marathon, then I should try to join in with them, start meeting new people who are content creators, so that inevitably, after meeting enough people, one of them will want to start doing this more frequently. Could you imagine if I met Matt Choi? He's like a big running content creator. And he's like, hey man, I think what you're doing is great. I want to join you. I need content as well. And I think that this is a cool challenge. That would be awesome. So then now my goal is to get out there and meet Matt Choi or whoever it is, the hardest geezer. He just crossed, ran the entire length of Africa. First man or person to ever do it. And he was probably looking for his next big thing as well. There's all these people. I'm doing something incredible. I got to reach out to them, So maybe two lessons that you can learn from my experience just now. First off, the challenges that are presented to you are there for a reason. You wouldn't be facing this challenge if you had already learned how to overcome it, right? It wouldn't be a challenge at that point. It would just be another task, let's say. So notice when you are feeling a certain way, have a certain feeling, as a sign that your body or your mind or whatever it is telling you like, hey, this is an obstacle that needs to be overcome. And then second, if you want to accomplish the dream, take massive action, right? Do crazy things. That will attract like-minded people. And then ultimately, when you surround yourself with the people that you want to be like, they will help you and you'll help them to become so much more than you ever could be alone. The whole is more than the sum of the parts. So all the people that you meet in your life, sum total together, would be nothing in comparison to what you all could do together, right? Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna devour this chicken. I'm gonna do a better job at filming, and I'm gonna stay on top of my stuff, because like this is an expensive challenge. I don't want this to be like the college tour or the 50 states or the penny farthing series where the videos never get out, or I do a terrible job of filming. So I'm gonna get better at that, and maybe this video never goes out. Maybe this is just for me to look back on in the future. Either way, I'm living it up, learning a lot, and having a great time. So there's nothing to complain about. Just keep moving forward, get better, and then eventually you'll become the man you need to be to achieve this dream. And that's what I'm gonna keep telling myself. Hopefully you've learned something from this. I love y'all. Why not us?